business, maybe slowly improving at the margin from here on. Well, let's come back to the market, and we have a very special voice joining us on the phone line. Ramesh Damani is member of Bombay Stock Exchange. A lot of you would have watched that show yesterday, which my colleague Nimesh and Sonia hosted. Mr. Damani, welcome back. Good morning. Great to have you with us here. Absolutely a lovely program. And congratulations to you for a wonderful, lovely family, your son, your grandkids. I mean, it was quite something.
Yeah, Prashant, thank you so much. It was a really wonderful and sweet moment for me, which Nimesh and Sonia created. Thank you so much. I really enjoyed myself yesterday, and my grandkids were over the moon. So it was a lovely moment. Thank you.
We all saw that, and it was wonderful. Mr. Damani, yesterday, one thing which we kind of, I guess, did not kind of quiz you about was markets itself, Mr. Damani. There's so much happening, right, in the US especially, and a lot of it sort of falling our way as well. What is your sense? Are we past the worst in terms of sentiment and in terms of inflation numbers, etc.? How should we look at market trajectory from here?
Great question, Prashant. I think we're within a few percentage points of an all-time high, and I think we should be able to claw back to that level for sure. Having said that, I think India is perhaps in a different position than it used to be a few years back, that when global markets got cold, we used to get the flu. I think we're no longer doing that because of various reasons, domestic liquidity or whatever. So I feel that this is a good time as any to invest. And instead of talking about, the Queen recently celebrated a platinum jubilee before she died. And I think it's time to talk about those kind of numbers in the Sensex too, that we'll get to a platinum jubilee level type of number. So I think I remain bullish. Undertone remains extraordinarily strong according to me.
Okay, undertone remains so strong. Ramesh, hi, good morning once again. Yeah, the emotions were running high yesterday, right, with the family and the grandkids. Yes. It was a great moment. But we were also talking about certain sectors and pockets. And I remember you mentioning the defense PSUs, rail PSUs. You talked about those stocks even during the Diwali session that we had, Muhurat session. But the question I was asking you then, and it portends even now, is when is the time to exit? Because these trades tend to be a little shorter than usual. I mean, they don't last very long. So what's the advice there?
Yeah, a great question, Sonia. The defense stocks have had a great run-up. Some of the rail stocks have had a good run-up since we discussed them. So I trimmed my positions, added to the cheaper ones, sold the more expensive one. And we discussed a couple of stocks yesterday in context to what you're saying, which have been long-term compounders in my portfolio. And, I think they will continue to do well. I mean, I explained, stocks, the PSU stocks, whom people deride have compounded over a 20-year period from market caps of few hundred crores to almost 60,000 crores. But as always, I mentioned, Sonia, I must mention that again, that what ideas I discuss are purely for educational purposes and for discussion purposes. I do not recommend any stocks, clearly. Having said that, I will say that if you are a value investor, you are owed to yourself to look at some of these stocks, because some of them even today are trading at single-digit multiples and almost 5 to 6% dividend yield. So there's a very good picking there, and since the market now has gravitated towards those kind of stocks, I think there could be a good upside in some of them.
Good morning, Mr. Damani. Always good speaking to you. Well, the PSU theme is something that you've been talking about. But what about these new age companies? Last November it belonged to them. Everyone was talking about them. Sky high valuations, logical, illogical. The market gave that answer. But now there's plenty of supply that's available if you're interested. Do any of those businesses excite you?
The businesses excite me, Nigel. Thank you so much. But I think the valuation still is not in my comfort zone. We might have some exposure to some of the new age companies. But broadly speaking, I think I would be more comfortable after even a further correction. I think the bloom, as you call it, these stocks is off the picture now. And, they will settle at, more attractive levels. I would not dismiss all of them. I think some of these businesses, the food delivery business, the e-commerce business, are very attractive businesses. And long-term, they can create a lot of value. But I don't think they're at the price point yet where investors should be betting aggressively on them.
Mr. Damani, the next season of Wizards is coming up, and who are you most excited to speak with and sort of get insights from? It's always a cracker of a session, cracker of a season, and this one is a new one. Which are the conversations you're most looking forward to?
Yeah, Prashant, thank you. It's always such a privilege to use public airways to talk to people whom I've admired and I've looked up to. Historically, of course, talking to Rakesh was always a brilliant. He's so colorful, as you all know, and so sharp in his opinions that it's always a pleasure to interview him. Unfortunately, he's no longer there. So what we're going to do, Prashant, is host a special tribute to him with an all-star cast, basically, for the first 2 episodes. He was my first wizard, and hopefully he will get a proper tribute. The one I'm really excited about this year is we've got the head of Carlyle Group, David Rubenstein, who's agreed to come on a show. So sometime in January, we will be airing that show. David Rubenstein has interviewed everyone who matters in the world, has made so much money, head of private equity, Duke University. So it'll be an extraordinary opportunity to reach out to him and understand what he thought of interviewing the different wizards globally and also what he thought of his own career. So I'm really excited about that.
Okay, there's Laura Geritz as well. Lots to talk about over there. And of course, the first episode drops on the 21st of November. So all of you viewers, do stay tuned in and keep your eyes peeled. Ramesh, pleasure speaking with you. Thanks a lot for joining in, and have a great day.
Thank you, Sonia. Thank you so much. Thank you, guys.
Okay, well, that's Wizards of the Street. That's